of poor whites are part of the one of the groups. Who would the British Prime Minister now reach out to talk to Indigenous Celts or Anglo-Saxons needing assurance and settling down?
He needs to speak to Britons. We need to stop this mentality of putting people into these neat little racial or cultural categories and treating them differently. Starmer has developed a nickname in the UK now as two-tier Keir, which goes to how he's effectively treating the problems associated with Islam or Islamic cultures in the UK differently to white working class communities. And the easiest way is to say we are all Britons. We have a shared values, we have a shared history, and we are going to enforce the law and we're going to respect our values in an equal way. Unfortunately, we are not seeing that type of leadership from a fundamentally weak and scared leader.
No, he bent the knee to when the Black Lives Matter protests and riots were on, but he's sending in extra cops. A standing army is talking about when the protesters are not black but white. That again, it doesn't excuse them, but people are seeing. Now, let's switch to seriousness here. But Danica, Meghan Markle, I'm afraid to announce, is back. She and husband Prince Harry have decided to launch another of the feel-good projects that seem to last about 5 minutes. And once again, it was a pity party, inviting people to see how much they've suffered. I mean, Meghan Markle seemed to hint that she'd have much more to say one day about the supposedly horrible royals.
I haven't really scraped the surface on my experience, but I do think that I would never want someone else to feel that way, and I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans, and I would never want someone else to not be believed. So if me voicing what I have overcome will save someone, or asks or encourage someone in their life to really genuinely check in on them and not assume that the appearance is good so everything's okay, then that's worth it. I'll take a hit for that.
Honestly, Danica, she hasn't scraped the surface. I thought she had dumped it by a truckload already. How would you decode what she actually said there?
Well, Andrew, I would decode that as God help us, God help the world, because here we go again. She's clearly ready to launch another project into the media, and we're all going to hear about it. But look, Meghan there doing what Meghan does best, A, talking about herself, B, feeling sorry for herself. So I think, Andrew, what we can take from that is that she's preparing, giving us a little teaser. Perhaps she's ready to release another book. Maybe we'll be subjected to another series, maybe. Who knows? I mean, she's already, of course, just released jam in the last few months. She's released dog treats. Obviously, that's not going well enough for her, so she needs to create a bit of mystery as to what she might do next. So, look, I hope they're enjoying their privacy tour, Andrew. They seem to be really relishing in it by the sounds.
I was so sad they've only got their misery to sell. I mean, they look miserable selling misery, as you would. Can I just switch to something I saw on your wonderful Twitter site, Will? Some footage that escaped me. Now that Kamala Harris has taken over from Joe Biden in the election against Donald Trump, people are actually forgetting, I think, how dangerously doddery the President of the United States, the President of the free world, really is. A few days ago, he was with Harris to welcome American prisoners who have been freed in a swap with Russia. He seemed to forget all of them, of these ex-prisoners, already left the plane, so had the pilots, and he went on board as if maybe there's someone up there, I don't know. And he didn't emerge for nearly 2 minutes. Now, look, maybe he just wanted the toilet, old man's bladder problems, all that sort of thing. I don't know, but it was a bit weird, wasn't it?
This presidency has now devolved into just an extended Leslie Nielsen movie. It's actually pretty funny if it wasn't so terrifying. There will be a book, Andrew, that will come out one day, a Bob Woodward or someone similar, where we will learn about the cover-up of Joe Biden's mental health and everyone who is involved. It is one of the great legitimate conspiracies of our time, and unfortunately, that cover-up is still continuing. He's still the President of the United States.
Well, it's actually It's actually metastasized, I think. They're also covering up what an airhead the successor is. That's really freaky. Will Kingston, Danica DiGiorgio, thank you both for your time. Well, that's it from me. Don't miss us tomorrow, but coming up now is Sharry Markson. But from me, it's good night.
I'm Andrew Rule, the host of the podcast A Life and Crimes. Here are some of the things that we've been talking about the last few weeks. The brutal truth is that when you start looking at it, they always kill or injure a lot more than each other.
The professional hitman used to be a professional hitman.
Evil strikes in all forms, but particularly as stupidity. Life and Crimes is available wherever you get your podcasts.